What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Chin here again today from Nothing But Facts. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have been watching our AP preseason poll, top 25 season predictor. We have done Ole Miss, A&M, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, Indiana, and now we are going to talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think it's going to be my favorite video I make. Hopefully, I think it's going to be my favorite video I make. A team looking to write all the answers, a little bit of embarrassment how they ended their season last year against Indiana. But in any case, this team looks a little bit different. Kalen DeBoer has done a good job of addressing the things that he needs to address in the offseason. And this team is looking to get back to the SEC championship and win, get back to the playoff advance, and essentially rise up and hold that college football playoff national championship at the end of their season. We're going to go into their schedule. We'll talk about their schedule, talk about their roster, some PTP, some primetime players I think that are going to show up. And let's jump right in. First of all, three of the games, first three games for Alabama are going to be primetime games on ABC. You see it there. Week 1 through 3 are going to be primetime games on ABC. That's always good for a lot of Alabama fans. We'll start off first game of the season against East Carolina. East Carolina is going to be coming down to Bryant-Denny Stadium. I think Alabama gets the win in that one. I think it's easy. Now, you're quickly getting back into conference play if you're Alabama. You're going into week 2. You're already in conference play. You're going against Kentucky. And I need to just bring up this dynamic for a second. They go American Conference game, out of conference game back in the ACC. So this first 3 weeks is a pretty interesting time for this team because they're going to be going against different playing styles. Kentucky with Will Stein in year 1. I mean, obviously, I don't think this team is. I don't want to say national championship expectations. Obviously not, but I think this is a team that is going to be definitely motivated for this game, especially week 2, like starting out the gates in conference play week 2. I think that's really interesting, but I like Alabama to take care of business. I like Alabama in that game. Moving on to Florida State. Florida State is a team that is looking for an identity, right? Mike Norvell has just not delivered on the promises at Florida State since he's won the ACC. But in any case, he has Ashton Daniels as the starter. He has Deuce Robinson there too as well. But I think this Alabama team wants revenge. They want to revenge that loss last year, a loss that a lot of people have just still think outside of the Vanderbilt loss, that was one of the most, I don't want to say embarrassing losses in Alabama history, but definitely one of the most surprising losses in Alabama history. You would have to think Kalen DeBoer is going to have his guys ready to go in such an environment like this. I'm pretty sure Bryant-Denny Stadium is going to be lit. I like Alabama in this game. Give me the Crimson Tide. They are going to go 3-0. They have South Carolina at home after that. This was a game last year, if you didn't pay attention to, this was sort of that game where we thought Alabama was going to put their foot on the necks of South Carolina. But this game ended up going down to the very end. It was a Jeremy Bernard trick play from Ty Simpson, ended up winning this game for Alabama. And Alabama, I don't want to say won by the skin of their teeth, but it was a pretty close game, pretty competitive game. I think Shane Beamer does the same thing here. I think he makes this game competitive in the first half, but I think Alabama finds a way in the second half to pull out of this one. I think they fall to South Carolina. I think they beat South Carolina, You're looking at 4-0 on the road against Mississippi State. Jeff Lebby and his team, they're trying to, look for answers. They're trying to get better. I like Alabama. Mississippi State was not one of the best Power 5 teams in the country last year. They got a long way to go. Jeff Lebby still, like I said, he's trying to figure it out. The head coach there at Mississippi State. I like Alabama in that game. Then they have Georgia coming at home. And I talked about this in the Georgia season prediction game. This is a really interesting game because this is mid-season form. Like, you have played 5 games now. You're just teetering on that mid-season form. Like, what Alabama team shows up, right? We remember what happened in the SEC championship last year. Georgia just bullied Bama. Injuries, this, that, whatever the case may be. Alabama and the SEC championship games don't get bullied. And that's what happened in that game. Georgia just bullied them. And we saw it straight in front of our face in 4K. I've talked about this Georgia wide receiver room. I really said, hey, I really don't think this wide receiver room is as dynamic as they should be. Mike Bobo needs to be a better play caller. I think this offense could be a lot better than what it is. And the fact this game is at home, the fact this game is at home, and also the fact that Alabama has won the last 2 regular season games in this series, I like Alabama to take this one. I think Alabama wins a close game. I'll take Alabama to win. Then you're going on the road against Tennessee. And if we remember, 2 years ago, this was a game where, when Nico Iamaleava was the starting quarterback for Tennessee, this was a crazy game. I remember Jalen Milroe was the quarterback, just an absurd game, just a loss that we didn't see coming for Alabama, but they went on the road and they didn't get things done. An interesting game for Tennessee, for Alabama going on the road against Tennessee. Josh Heupel and his guys, this is going to be definitely mid-season form. What type of team are they going to be? Still questions with the quarterback position, but I talked about it yesterday. Desmond Bishop, their running back, he's one of the best running backs in the country. Physical, can do a lot. So it will be interesting. Let's just say, for instance, in this game, you have that 3-game stretch between Georgia, Tennessee, and A&M. And LSU, a 4-game stretch. Like, let's be human here. Let's be real. Like, there is a possibility for a loss here. I will not take it against Tennessee. I think that game is close. I think Bama wins, but I think that A&M game, A&M is coming to town, right? A&M is a team that is looking to get right back into that college football playoff. They were a couple of plays away from essentially being in the SEC championship game last year, but they lost to Texas. And A&M should very much be motivated to play this game at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Like, Mike Elko should have his team up to play for a game like this. And again, perfect world and a not so perfect world, I like A&M to win this game. Again, I'm coming from a psychological standpoint, just the physicality alone. You're going against Georgia, you're going against Tennessee, then you have to play Texas A&M and then at LSU. I think A&M could walk into Bryant-Denny Stadium and get a W. Again, just not far-fetched, not anything crazy. It's happened. It's something that can be done. It's been done before, and I think A&M could win that game. We'll see what happens on the road against LSU. This is where I think Alabama is going to show their might. They're going to show that this defense is really good. Kane Womack is their defensive coordinator. He's done a really good job of putting this defense in a good position. Even last year, I like the way this team plays on the road. I like them going on the road against LSU and finding a way to win. Then you're going on the road against Vanderbilt in back-to-back weeks, back-to-back road games for Alabama. On the road against Vanderbilt, you're going against Jared Curtis and Vanderbilt and what Clark Lee's building down there in Nashville. I like Alabama to win this game. Then you have Chattanooga. They're going to handle Chattanooga. Then you have the Iron Bowl. And I think this is going to be a very interesting Iron Bowl. Like, no one is talking about what Alex Golesh, the job that Alex Golesh has done at Southern Florida, him having pedigree in the SEC, him already coaching at Tennessee with Josh Heupel before being the OC at South Florida. Like, there are a lot of factors at play here. And in any case, I think this game is a lot closer than what people think. I think Auburn takes this one all the way into the fourth quarter. Byron Brown is a guy that I think we should be paying attention to, a guy whose name you're going to hear early and often in this season. And if Alabama does not handle business, Auburn can walk into the building and get a W, but I don't think it happens. I think Alabama wins that game. Again, this 4-game stretch, I think, for them is going to determine a lot about what this team, who this team, how far this team can go. Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, LSU, that is a murderer's row of teams. And again, Alabama has shown that they can do this. They did it similarly last year. They had that murderer's row. It was Georgia, Tennessee, Mizzou, LSU, Vanderbilt. They won those games, right? They won those games. They had that murderer's row and they got it done. Can the same thing be applied here? Because this roster is good. I like this roster. I think they addressed what they needed to address. The offensive line was an absolute problem last year for this team. And there's a lot of new faces, and there's guys that I think are going to contribute immediately. And the offensive line, a lot of this too is going to be on Adrian Clem. Adrian Clem is now the new offensive line coach at Alabama. This guy is well traveled. Was on the Patriots. Was on the Lions. Was formerly at USC, at UCLA, at Oregon. Like, he's been very well traveled, and he is going to have a task of getting this O-line back to where it needs to be. Okay, Chris Kapilovic, when he was there last year, he didn't get it done. Just didn't work out. The offensive line still looked a little leaky, but Adrian Clem has a big responsibility on his hands. He needs to come in and get this offensive line because they have the horses in the race, but the offensive line is going to be a big reason into whether or not this team is successful. Okay, that quarterback room, this quarterback battle is going to go on. I've been reading and hearing some things about what offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb has said. He said, hey, both these guys look good. And Austin Mack, I think it's his job to lose. I said it earlier last week. I think this is Austin Mack's job to lose. He's the more experienced guy. He's been there the longest. And you just can't keep 6'5", 230 pounds on the bench. Don't think with his skill set and his ability, I don't think you could keep that on the bench. I think Austin Mack is a starter, but equally enough, Keelan Russell is good enough as well. Keelan Russell is equal to the task. If he ends up being the starter, I think he is good enough to take Alabama where they need to go. But I think, again, all of this is going to fall down on, can this quarterback position, whoever it is, Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, can they get this team to rise above what they've been playing like and at the last 2 years? Because last year I felt like we saw some positives. We saw some good things here and there. We've seen how they were able to, in my opinion, adapt, after some losses against Florida State, against Oklahoma. They were able to adapt. But again, they need to take their game from here to here. And a big part of that is going to be on Ryan Coleman Williams. Like, he needs to show up. He needs to be a consistent wide receiver one. His freshman year was really good, right? His freshman year was amazing. There were a lot of highlights that we can say during his freshman year that came about. And we thought this guy was going to be him. He was going to be the next one up, XYZ. And last year, I want to say he fell off a little bit, but definitely we want to see more from Ryan Williams. He's equal to the task. He is good enough. He is definitely good enough. And this guy, Sedarian Morgan, you better learn the name now. 5-star freshman coming in. I think this guy is going to be a dog, literally a key contributor for Alabama this year. I think he is going to contribute very early and often to this Alabama team. I'm going to go back to that defense because I think they have two guys. They have two guys in the secondary that I really love, that I really like. Bray Hubbard is a dog. Bray Hubbard was a first team, second team ACC sort of player. This guy is just, I don't even know what to say. He hits hard. He makes plays, and not only him, but Keon Sabb too as well. Oh my goodness, Keon Sabb too as well does a great job for this secondary at Alabama. Like, this guy plays the position the right way. He's a tactical player. He likes to make tackles. He's not afraid to be physical. Like, their back end is definitely shored up. And not only do they have a guy like Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard, they have edge players like Yanze Pierre. He led the team in sacks last year. He was top 5 in the SEC in pressures. Yanze Pierre is a problem. You need to know where number 42 is anytime he's lined up on the field, because he can wreck a play. He can make things happen. He will force you to make a decision that is not the right one, ultimately messing up your game plan. That is Yanze Pierre. He is that dude. So, again, from a defensive perspective, Kane Womack has done a good job. He's done a good job. Last year, I think, was his finest work with the attrition, with the injuries, with the the emotions of the season. I think I think Kane Womack did a fantastic job last year with that defense. It was a top 25 defense. But again, still, right? We've talked about all these teams. We've talked about most of these teams, and one thing I can consistently say is how can they get from here to here? Like, how can you get from gear 4 to 5? How can you get from gear 3 to 4? And Kane Womack, I think he's equal to the task. He had a fantastic year again, like I said last year, with the pieces that he had at play. I think he had. I think he's in it for a great year. And Ryan Grubb, right? Ryan Grubb. Everyone talks about Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer. Everyone talks about Ryan Grubb. Man, you gotta be better on offense. You gotta call better plays. Like, you gotta do all this. Like, Ryan Grubb, I'm pretty sure he hears it. He gets it. It's imperative that he can call offense the way we want him to, the way we saw him do it at Washington when they had Michael Penix and Jalen Polk and Romo Dunze and all those. Like, he can do it. He's equal to the task. Like, Ryan Grubb is equal to the task. But a lot of it, though, is going to be on the shoulders of Mr. Kalen DeBoer. It's going to be on him. It's going to be on him. He is going to be the X factor. Like I said with Mario Cristobal, like I said with Texas A&M and Mike Elko, like I said with Steve Sarkisian, he is going to be the reason whether or not this team gets to the national championship. He is an offensive guru. He has the players. He has the team. And I think they're in prime position to get to the playoffs. 11-1, 10-2, 11-1, 10-2, 11-1, 10-2. Again, you're 11-1 in the Big Ten. You're 10-2 in the Big Ten or SEC. 11-1 in the Big Ten or SEC. You're going to the playoffs. So whoever the starter is, whether it's Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, you're going to have playmakers in a guy like Ryan Williams. You're going to have Cedarian Morgan too there as well. But not only that, you're going to have a defense led by guys like Bray Hubbard, led by guys like Keon Sabb, led by guys like Yanze Pierre that can get plays, that can make plays to get you the ball. And they are also led by a great defensive coordinator in Kane Womack. Kane Womack, I'm going to say he did an outstanding job last year with the pieces that he was dealt with. Okay. But if you're an offensive guy, you want this to work. You want this man to work. You want this man to come into the building and work. He's been working. It needs to work better for this Alabama team. Okay, I think this team is really good. I think they can get to the college football playoffs and advance. But a lot of it is going to be determined on the quarterback play, on the galvanization of the team, on them believing on who the true leader is, whether it's Austin Mack, whether it's Keelan Russell, whoever it is. They need to make a conscious effort, go behind that quarterback, and get this team where they need to go. Really excited to see where Alabama is. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing. Love you guys. God bless and peace.